च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयोः श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमः श्री यतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। Welcome to all of you. You have got a very wonderful weather, fortunately. It's all Mother's grace. A few people don't practically know any other language than Hindi, English and their mother tongue. So largely discussions will be in English, but maybe now and then a little, maybe in Hindi or Bengali, a few words, but those, nothing will be missed. It will only be repetition of what is said in English, so that no one loses out anything. Huh, Dinesh? Yes. So the Vedas are the spiritual treasures Vedas are the spiritual treasures or spiritual truths realized by rishis. They are the spiritual knowledge from God to rishis, revealed to them for the benefit of humanity or for the benefit of mankind. So they are eternal, everlasting. So it is not that something new is always there, revealed from time to time to various rishis, and through them humanity comes to know about all these truths. It was a huge mass of such knowledge and literature. It was the Rishi Vyasa, that's why he's called Veda Vyasa. He is a person who really divided it into 4 major parts. व्यासदेव ने पहले 4 भाग किया था, ऋग, यजुर, साम, अथर्व वेद. And then the Vedas also, they have 2 major divisions. One is called, in fact the major portion is what is called Karma Kanda. Various kinds of rituals, upasana, etc. for getting the desired results, either in this life itself or in the life beyond. आजकल कोई life beyond विश्वास नहीं करते हैं, लेकिन in the ancient days there was a tremendous faith that we should. हाँ? ये बाबा. अभी ठीक है? In those days, people believed not only in enjoyments now, they wanted to ensure that life beyond death also, they would go to Swarga and other lokas, etc. Because the world has evolved so much, no one thinks about life beyond death. They think we have a majority of Charvakas in this world. They believe that everything closes with the present life, nothing beyond that. That is the general understanding. So in this Karma Kanda, there are various kinds of rituals. For this purpose you must do, for Swarga you have to do one type of yajna, like that for various types of attainments, various rites, etc. prescribed. But the Upanishads also have another portion called Jnana Kanda, where it speaks of the highest knowledge or the highest goal of life. These are called the Upanishads or the Vedanta. Vedanta was one literal way of translating it, the end portion of the Vedas, but not necessarily the end. In many other Upanishads, they occur in between also. So that means the end of all knowledge of Vedas, the ultimate knowledge of Vedas. In that sense, Ant में जो मिलता है सबको बाद. Finally, after all that, what is the highest or the essence or the ultimate? In that sense, they are Vedanta. So Kathopnishad is one of the very most beautiful Upanishads in the. We talk about 10 major Upanishads. Ishakena Kathomundaka, Aitiriya Prashna, Taittiriya Mundaka, and then no, one second. This is Brihadaranyaka and Chandogya. These are the main 10. So this is neither too big nor too small. It is about 2 chapters, 3 valleys each, about 119 verses is what is that. So as we said, the Karma Kanda, it's all related to body, mind, that is physical, verbal and mental are the 3 levels in which the Upasana etc. are done. It is all for the gaining of various worlds etc. But then it is very clear that even if you go to Swarga, everything, there is a limit to that. Here our life is maybe 100 years, maybe 1000 years, maybe 5000 years, whatever it is. But then once that is over, you have to come tumbling down to earth. That is what is stated in the Shastra. So it says, Chine punye marteloka vishanti. They have to come back to this world. But if one is not satisfied all that, if one wants to seek the ultimate truth, then there is always what is called this Upanishads, the highest knowledge. So even in the Gita it says, Sarva karma kilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Everything ultimately ends in jnana, or the ultimate truth, that is the final. So the Vedic rituals also, there are not, is it completely ruled out for those who do not want any desire, who have no desires, etc.? That type of this thing is also allowed. They all come under what is called the rituals performed for the sake of Chitta Shuddhi. There is no desired result like I want to go here, I want to go there, I want to achieve something. None of those things are not there, but they are all for the purpose of Chitta Shuddhi. That is why Karma Yoga, etc. comes under that category. So Shankaracharya, although he was very much against the idea of karma, he says unless you give up karma, you cannot reach the highest goal. He also clearly says that Shastra Vihita karma up to a certain stage of life, one has to certainly do. He is very clear about that. And then through that one gets Chitta Shuddhi, then one has to completely give up karma, and then only one becomes a fit aspirant for knowledge. That's what he says. So, in the Vedanta, this Upanishads, the Upanishad word itself is, it requires a little explanation. It consists of 2 prefixes, namely Upa and Ni. Upa means near, close, and Ni means clarity, Nishchaya. And then there is a suffix called Quip, which has the meaning as agent or karta. And the verb sad, Upanishad, sad has 3 meanings, more or less they all indicate the same. Visharana, Gati, Avasadana. Gati means, to go near the goal. Goal is here Brahmajnana, that which takes you to the goal. So the Gati. And then the Visharana means it is to split it, to cut it, or to destroy. And then Avasadana means loosening the bondages, or loosening the bondages of samsara. So put together it means that which takes you near the goal, highest. So Upanishad also can directly mean in that sense self, because that is where we can go the nearest. Where one can go to the nearest is oneself. So in that sense Upanishad can also mean self, although in a very elaborate way that is not directly indicated. That which makes you the karta, that is why the quip pratyaya is added, that which makes you progress towards goal, takes you as near to the teacher or to the knowledge or to the goal, and the gati, that which determines the speed or the way in which you go, and the avasadhana, that which loosens the bondages of samsara, etc. And that which splits or cuts or destroys all that bandhan, that is, visharana is also used. So this Upanishad means that which destroys all that, and then you can do. So what people when they do this yaga etc., and they go to the so many lokas, that's been again talked about in the shastras etc. There also they can do all that. They can go to those places. From them also, supposing one reaches something like a Brahma Loka, there is no coming back. But then there also one has to wait for a long time. And then finally they get mukti, they don't come back. It is called Krama Mukti. But if you get this highest knowledge of self or the ultimate, then it is Sadhyo Mukti, or here and now itself. Because the Krama Mukti, see, that was born out of desires. Through desires you went to those higher regions or whatever it is, and from there finally you get. So naturally that is not now one immediately, that is after a long period. So it is called Krama Mukti. That's what see, without going into all these technical details, how Holy Mother so beautifully put it. Somebody, one brahmachari or sadhu, they were in Benares. If one dies in Benares, one is supposed to get mukti. So this person, he killed a fly and told mother, is it liberated? He said, yes. Then mother said, but if you want to get the mukti now here and in this life itself, should be free from desires. It should be nirvasana. Nirvasana. Actually, it tallies with this idea. See, through rituals are all for satisfying desires, kamya. So then, through that you go to the higher worlds. From there, Krama Mukti takes place much later. But Sadhyo Mukti, if you want now itself, then you must get the highest knowledge. There is no other alternative. And then, what is the way also? They say the Shastras so speak. It is not just a mere hearing will do. You have to first, by Shravana, you get an idea. Then you do a deep manthan. You churn and churn and churn, go deeper and deeper. Then that is manana. And then deep contemplation with unwavering mind and chitta, that nididhyasana. Through that only it is possible. Because, quite often just mere the reading and just knowing it intellectually, knowing it through buddhi is often assumed as knowledge. That is not the knowledge. That will not do. One has to really work for that kind of a deeper this thing. That's what, the Upanishads also, they form one of the triads called Prasthanatraya. The Upanishads, they are called Shruti Prasthana. Because, by hearing only, constantly hearing all that, the Mahavakyas, the highest truth, etc. And then Bhagavad Gita is called Smriti Prasthana, because it is about the practical aspects of life. It tells you what to do, how to do. It can say a lot of these things. And Brahma Sutra, which again largely taken from various Upanishads, etc., Vedanta, that's complete logic and philosophy. So these are the three ideas. And also, this, what does these Upanishads ultimately, what do they reveal? They give the knowledge, what is called the knowledge of the Advaita, oneness, complete oneness. There is no second entity. That absolute ultimate knowledge they convey. If you see that, how this word Advaita itself has come into existence or how it is derived, they say Dvabhyam idam dvita. Dvabhyam ida dvita, not Advaita. Dvabhyam, in relation with two things. Dvabhyam idam, that is called dvita, and the nature of being in relationship is Dvaita. Dvabhyam idam, two things in relation, that is called Dvita, and the nature of being in relationship is called Dvaita. Not Dvaita, where this completely this is negated, that is called Advaita. So there is the Brahman is the only reality. The world is the appearance. It's like what you see in a movie or a cinema or whatever it is. There's so many scenes, so many actions going on. But you know that is all there. Only the real thing is only the screen. It's all they keep on happening, going hour after, whatever it is. They all look for the time being. When you see, when you are there, they look so real and so compelling. But when the lights are on, suddenly you know that it's all only appearance. Only the screen remains. Similarly, the world alone is the only is all appearances. The only reality is Brahman, or that ultimate consciousness. So this Upanishad is also, the Katha is the name of the Rishi. The Upanishad by him, that's why Shankaracharya in most of the places in his Bhashya refers to it as Kataka Upanishad. Or of course is also familiarly known as Katha Upanishad. So this is how the Upanishad word is derived and all that. And every Upanishad, in fact every scripture, everything generally, they have a invocation or a pranam mantra to start with. So here also this Kathopnishad has this pranam mantra. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahe, tejasvi navadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe, om shanti, shanti, shanti. So Saha now avatu, may the Lord protect us. Because now when we are beginning this study, such an important occurrence, event in our life. So both of us need to be protected by the Lord, so that we can do it, accomplish it, complete it, and all that. Saha now bhunaktu, may we really, share the benefit of this knowledge, or enjoy the real benefit of the knowledge that is coming out of this study. Then let me really get that highest knowledge and feel it that way. Then Saha Viryam Karvavahe, let it be really, we really need the tremendous strength to study, to understand and all that. So let all this be, maybe be equally strong to receive this knowledge. Even as we study, when we become strong, fit, so that we can also understand and get this knowledge, then navadhitamastu, tejasvi navadhitamastu. This learning be equally fruitful. Let it be illuminating. This should be the capacity. It must be effulgent, and it should be of a nature of luminosity. So let this knowledge really be of that nature, so that we may have the real knowledge ultimately. And finally it says, Ma vidvishavai. Let there be no difference between the teacher and the taught, as it often happens. We should not criticize each other, fight. You start with that, finally end up fighting. That is not meaningful. So it should be like that. And also finally it says, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. 3 types of the Shanti. First is Adhyatmic. That's from our own self. Our body, mind, etc. should cooperate. People come, they can't understand, they can't follow, they fall sick, other things intervene. The first is, prayer is for the Adhyatmic Shanti, or the Shanti of the personality or the physical. Then second is Adi Bhautik. Adi Bhautik is from other people around, animals. Nobody should disturb us. You are come, then people come constantly, they shout, disturb, whatever it is. So this is from the others. And then finally, Adi Devik is from the gods and other things, in the sense that nature. Supposing, if it had rained terribly, none of us would have reached yesterday. Starting, morning from 5 o'clock onwards, a continuous rain, terrible rain. Can't progress 1 foot. It's not possible. So, all the three types of Shantis are prayed for, so that there is no disturbance from the nature or elements, etc. These are the three types of Shanti one they are praying for, so that the study becomes very invigorating, meaningful, and then there is peace from the environment, peace from the animal world, peace from our own body and other things. So these are the prayers which are offered here. And then, in our tradition, every study, no study was undertaken just like that, just for understanding the text. By the way, there is also, the word Upanishad also means the text, the book. But that is a secondary meaning. Shankaracharya says it's a secondary meaning. The main thing is that it gives you the highest knowledge. So, in our ancient system, any study of scriptures is not mere study of the text or anything. It is meant to give you the ultimate knowledge. That is why they prescribe various qualifications for the teacher as well as the students. Unless the student has all those qualifications, he is never accepted. So people think that in ancient days it was just only the idea of caste and some people were kept away and all that. Maybe there was some truth in all that. But essentially, unless one really qualifies the Nitya Vastu Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadamadi Sampati, Mumukshutva, unless one is blessed with all those qualities, one is not allowed to even enter. So the study should produce the desired result. Any text, that's why all these texts ultimately give this ultimate knowledge. The student is coming for such a study should go completely illumined. That was the idea. Even Vivek, if you see towards the end, after all that, the students walks away completely illumined. It comes with 6 major questions, and then he goes finally totally illumined like that. So now generally what they say, any study they subject to a 4-fold kind of test called Anubandha Chatushtaya. 4-fold test they are subject to. What is that? First is Vishaya. Second is Sambandha. Third is Adhikari. And the fourth is Priyojana. So what is the Vishaya here? Here the Vishaya is Brahmajnana, or the ultimate knowledge of Brahman, or complete cessation of dukkha nivritti, sukha prapti, or agyan ki nash. So this is the highest realization addressed to the Brahmajnana, that is the Vishaya, the subject of the study. And then the relationship between the Vishaya and the Grantha as Pratipadya and Pratipadak. One is a revealer and one is the one which is getting it, revelation. So between the Vishaya and the Grantha, the book is revealing, and the Pratipadya Vishaya is the Brahmajnana. So if you say that the subject chosen, the Vishaya is Brahmajnana, but the book discusses about something else totally different, it will not be. So there should be complete connection between the Vishaya that is talked of and the text, and there is a complete connection. Not only that, the connection is also talked about various ways between the subject and the person who is studying it, between the Prayojana and the Grantha, every way, in many ways this Sambandha can be talked about. But essentially it is between the Vishaya and the Grantha. And then Adhikari, I told you, this is what the Adhikari, unless one is really a fit student, no one is encouraged to be part of that, and it's not possible. And then, so the Prayojana, they say, no, Prayojanam anuddishya na mandopi pravartate. Even a fool will not enter or undertake anything without any prayojana or a purpose. So what is the prayojana? Yes, we are caught in this samsara. We want nivritti from that. We want removal of ajnana. All those things are really desired. So all these three are really, all the four are satisfied here. So here it is not like, they often in the Vedanta, they always quote a very important example like Kakadanta Pariksha. Does anyone go and examine whether the crow has teeth? Has teeth? No, it's meaningless. Such a test. It is not like that. It's really a meaningful pursuit, because the study is which of a dire necessity. We are caught in this bondage of samsara. Therefore, we need to understand, we need to realize that is why this study is undertaken. So, these are the things that are talked about here. Then we kind of come to the text proper. So, there is the methodology chosen here is, they are treating a subject as deep as death. Who talks of death in this world? Tell me. No one wants to talk. Everybody is afraid of death. And not only that, it's what in the Mahabharata, that Yaksha Prashna, when all the others died, finally when Dharmaputra came, Yaksha said, if you answer correctly, all of them will be revived. And what is the question? What is the greatest wonder in this world? People see others dying right in front of their eyes, but yet they think that they are going to live for eternity. Right? No, if you see in this whole world, whatever one might pursue, जो भी हम लोग करें, there is an underlying idea that I am going to live. That is what makes people pursue, is it not? Otherwise, we will not be pursuing anything in this life. So there is an undeclared, underlying, hidden idea that I am going to live. So naturally, to discuss about death, it's a very, very rare thing. I don't think anyone ever discusses in the world about death. But here in Upanishad, the whole thing is centered around the idea of death. And also they have used what is called Akhyayika, through story. Of course, Shankaracharya Bhashya says is Stutyartha, to eulogize the whole thing. But more importantly, through story is always very nice to know about. It is such a difficult thing. But then, there are certain beautiful purposes for which this, there were number of things in this Akhyayika, why this was taken. It has, first of all, the purpose, and then the hardship in gaining this knowledge, how one has to give up all other things, how it is important, how listening also normally does not work, how one has to listen again and again, how one has to... So many other things are revealed through this idea of Akhyayika. Then, it talks about Vairagya, and then, it is the idea of immortality, knowledge, how it frees us from the jaws of death. Mrityu Mukhat, there is a sloka like that. Right from the jaws of death also releases you. And how it is Shokam Tarati, how it takes you beyond Shoka. And also in several places, it teaches also what is called the Shishtachar, how one should behave under certain circumstances. All these, so many other things are revealed through the study of this Upanishad. And then, if you come to the main Upanishad proper, there is actually during Swamiji's Tithi Puja in Belur Math, they chant this Upanishad very beautifully. Normally it is little different from the normal Vedic chanting that we do. Whole thing, that's the only time they chant this, because I can give you a sample, this is how they do it. Ushan havai vajasravasah sarvaveda sandadau tasya nachiketa nama putra asa. Like that it goes on and then it goes to the higher pitch also. Now it happens. So how does it start? This Vajasravasa is also called Audhalaka. He was the son of, in the line of ancient sage Vajasrava, famous for his charity. Or one who has given so much of anna, food as a gift. So in that, this Vajasravasa, he performed a yajna called Vishwajit because he was wanted to go to heaven. This is one of the prescribed yajnas in the Karmakanda. Actually, the Karmakanda, the yajnas are prescribed. The point is, one has to be very meticulous, accurate. If you do it the wrong way, it will completely viparit phal bhi aa jayega. You will get totally wrong, undesired results also. So one has to be very clear and particular. So in that, the rule of the sacrifice was that he has to completely give everything in charity, totally. But he was no doubt giving, because he had a son called Nachiketa. Tamha Kumaram Santam. See, he saw that Tasya Nachiketa Nama Putra. So he had a son by name Nachiketa in this Vishwajit Yajna where he is supposed to give everything. He was performing this Yajna and the son was there. So he was watching Tamha Kumaram Santam Dakshinasu Niyamanasu Shraddha Vivesha Somanyata. So he saw his father was selecting the cows which were absolutely, what was he saw? Dakshinasu Niyamasu was the kind of gift the father was, Dakshina, as by way of Dakshina. Whatever he was giving, the son was watching. What he was giving? Niyamanasu, overcome by Shraddha, he started thinking. Why? He saw Pitodaka Dagdadrina Dugda Doha Nirindriyaha Ananda Namate Lokan Tan Sagachati Tadadat. He saw that his father was giving absolutely useless cows which have drunk water for the last time, which have eaten grass for the last time, which are not capable of any progeny. And he says he saw that because he was about 7 or 8 years old or less than 10. But he saw those who do such a kind of charity, they go to Ananda Namati Loka. They go to the world which is full of misery. But his father's desire was go to Swarga and enjoy great bliss and be there. But what he was doing was directly opposite. He was giving the cows, etc., which are absolutely as if, many people, we do keep everything. And only for giving, Durga Puja they spend maybe in lakhs. But for Puja, Naivedya, they bring the cheapest of sweets or cheapest of cloth, virtually so nobody can use. So like that he was giving such kind of gifts. So he started thinking. Why? Because he was from such a great lineage. Because he was to achieve perhaps which nobody else had achieved before. See, these type of questions, what he was going to ask Emma and discuss and all that, not that nobody had ever thought of. First of all, it is not enough if you think of. One should have the dhairya or the courage or the patience or the perseverance to listen, to practice and to pursue it unto the end. So he was very extraordinary, because we will see in how many ways Yama was trying to tempt him and give and all that. But then what he saw, seeing that what happened, he did not get angry, he did not get annoyed, he did not get irritated. He did not think mean of his father. फिर अरे क्या useless person, क्या दे रहे हैं, ऐसे क्यों दे रहे? No, he was overcome with Shraddha. That's why Swamiji used to say, all our nation's this plight is because of the absence of Shraddha. You go to school, you go to college, you go to universities. He says, the first thing you learn is your father is an idiot, your grandfather was a fool. This is the type of things you learn in schools, etc. This absence of Shraddha, that is what is responsible for the downfall. So this Shraddha word, in English they translate it as faith, but faith is not exactly the word. Shraddha really means astikya buddhi. Something that is spontaneous, inborn, ingrained in you, where you feel with certainty. See, you might not have seen God, you might not have had the Brahmajnana, but something deep within, in no uncertain term, tells you this is true. अपनी देखें नहीं होते भगवान के, ना ब्रह्म ज्ञान होय नहीं, किंतु अंदरे अंदरे एक अनुभव, ये निश्चय, ये सत्य. So the deep, it is called astikya buddhi. It is not got from books. It's not because somebody has told. It is something very spontaneous and something inborn, and that can spread to a number of fields. For example, his Shraddha was Shraddha in the scriptures, because the scriptures clearly say that you must give everything. It doesn't mean that his father only had these useless cows. There are so many other cows also, so many other properties he must have had. Why is giving only this? So he is not following the scriptures, because he had great Shraddha in the scriptures. He had great Shraddha in the gods and goddesses. Shraddha towards his own father. Although he was doing all that, out of deep reverence and Shraddha for his father, he thought, what can be done? He was so deeply possessed by what was happening. He said, no, something needs to be done. What is it? What is my father doing? So he was out of so much of Shraddha, anxiety got into him, and he started thinking kind of, what is the way? Then he said, all right, is there any way out? He thought that, maybe as a prayashchitta, as a penance, supposing my father gifts me to somebody, some amends can be made. He is supposed to give everything. So obviously he should give me also. I am his son, I am his wealth, I am his sampatti. मेरे भी तो किसी को उनका देना चाहिए. I am also दान योग्य है. So maybe whatever it is, he thought that only ways, maybe perhaps I can, some amends can be made, because he was a young bright boy. उनका कोई दान में दे दें, then कुछ भी उनका सुधार हो जाए, जो पाप कम हो जाए, whatever. So in so many ways he was so deeply affected by what he saw. What kind of dakshina he is giving to priests? He wants to go to heaven, but this is what he is giving. So he went and asked, Sahovache petaram tata kasmai mam dasyamiti. Ditiyam titiyam tamhovacha mrityave tva. He went and asked his father, Acha, aap mere ko kisko de rahe hain? To whom will you give me, father? He asked very politely only. First time he asked, father did not say, Arey Baba is a childish fellow, something he is asking. He didn't pay attention. Second time he asked. Third time he asked. उनका तो irritated हो गया. हम लोग कहते ना, बाढ़ में जा, ऐसे, go to hell. ऐसे उनको बोल दिया, I give you to Yama. Mrityave dadamiti. So out of just anger or irritation, he just said like that. But then, he was not an ordinary boy. He was a person who had studied the scriptures even at a very young age. So he knew that what he was doing was not correct. So again he said, then when he said, then also he started, yes, given. Then he said, yes, father, I am ready to go. मैं जा रहा हूँ. And the father was, अरे क्या बोल रहे हैं तुम? मैं तो ऐसे ही बोला. Then he thought that what is boy saying? Then he gives a small little sermon to his father. He says, Anupashya yatha purve pratipashya tatha pare sasyava martaha pachyate sasvamiva jayate punah. See, he says, what are you saying, Father? How your ancestors, anupashya yatha purve, look at them, how they had done, pratipashya tatha pare. Consider also the lives of great souls living now. जब जहाँ भी वचन दिया वो किसी पत्र रखते हैं. Once you give word, that has to be done at any. See, imagine the way they used to live. See, that's why through this Akhyayika is one of the things, the Satyanishta. Whatever is said, मुंह से निकला, एक बार बोला तो बस. See, this way, Thakur whole life, if you can just sum up, he was embodiment of truth. Truth and Thakur abhinna hai. Just every little thing. Itna. See, initially, probably as any sadhaka, Thakur was probably trying to practice truth. And then one point, Satya ko unko pakad liya. Truth had got hold of him. He could never even deviate even if he wanted. There are 2-3 very beautiful incidents. See, from nearby, Dakshinesh ke nazdik ek bagicha se, from a garden, he used to bring flowers for his worship. So the owner had given permission to Thakur. So one day Yogin went and brought. Thakur could not use those flowers. Why? Because that day the ownership had changed. The previous owner had given permission. This owner had not permission. So without taking permission is untruth. You know the famous incident that happened in Jadumali's house. He could not see. Kitni baar Dakshineshwar aaye gaye. How many times he had come and gone back. Suddenly when he tries to turn towards Dakshineshwar, he is not able to see. When he turns back, he is clearly able to see Jadumali's cloak. And simply went and threw. Jadumali, I have thrown your opium. Now he says, very clear. That means what? He was taking away. He did not even initially thought that it was untruth. But truth had caught hold of him in such a way, not even in a micro-millimeter deviation was possible. So, this boy, Nachiketa, was so wedded to truth and said, you see, people, like cons, they grow and die. What is there in this life? You see, then itself, see his idea of life and death. Human beings, they grow and die like cons. Why do you worry about one little boy giving to Yama means death. So why do you about that? Millions, billions they born and they are dying. Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityu dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmat apariyaryate natpam shochitum. Whenever there is birth, there is death. If there is death, there is birth. Gita also says. So if that being so, why do you worry like that? Then saying that, he simply went and his father could not stop him. And we went to Yama's place. Yama was not there. He's a very busy man, he's a busy god, he has to attend to the death of so many people. Personally, कई जगह पे जाना पड़ता है, always on tour. So he was not there. But he sat outside. They offered him water. He did not touch anything. See, it's a goal-mindedness. You see, every little sloka teaches us something. हम लोग ना कुछ एक करना, अच्छा ठीक है थोड़ा खा लेंगे उसके बाद में बैठ लेंगे. You take something then say, no, I have come to see Yama. Father has sent me to Yama. He has given me. I have to first surrender myself to him. Then other things. Nothing before that. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. 7 or 8-year-old boy without water, without food. When Yama returned, relatives, they simply ran and said, here is a Brahmana. For 3 days and 3 nights he is waiting for you without food, without water. Yama simply went and he saluted him. I really salute you, you great Brahmana. Please tell me, because you waited for 3 days. Of course, they gave all that. And then he said, I am giving you 3 boons. आप 3 दिन ऐसे रहा, इसलिए आपका मैं 3 वर देता हूँ. अपनी जो 3 दिन ना खे ना किचु एक बारे चिलेन. And then he says, then he gives his first, what is his first boon? First, he is asking the first Varahi asked from Yama is Shanta Sankalpa Sumana Yatha Syat Vita Manyu Gautamo Mabhimrityo Tat Prasishtam Abhivetat Pratita Etat Triyanam Pratamam Varam Vrine. He says, "Oh death, please grant that my father," he is also probably called Gautama, may be free from worry. That it is a first chapter 110, 10th sloka. 10, 110. Says, so that he may be free from worry, वो एक अच्छी स्थिति में रहे. वीतमन्यु गौतमो माभि मृत्यु. When he return from you, he may be in a happy mood, may no longer be angry with me. And that when I return, he may virtually recognize me and greet me as before. This is the first of the three varas. So he is a very intelligent boy. In one boon itself he has got 2, 3. Thakur bolche na, আমার নাতির সঙ্গে সোনার থালায় বসে খাবো. I will eat with my grandson in a golden plate. So he made somebody, when God said that you take a boon, I want to give you. All right, give this boon so that I can eat with my grandson on a golden plate. So he has made sure golden plate means plenty of wealth. Grandson means not only that, son, grandson, everything is assured in one boon. So Nashiketa also, first of all, he says that give me the boon, I go back. No. When I go back from you, he has taken for granted that he is going back. Already one boon he has himself sanctioned. Because who comes back from Yama? यम के पास जो जाएगा वापस जाता है क्या किसी ने? आप सुना कभी? Nobody comes back. But here he says, when I go back from you, then no father might think, क्या कहाँ भूत प्रेत आया क्या? I had sent him to Yama, whether any ghost or anything has come back. No, he must recognize me when I go back and treat me with the same love and affection. And in the meanwhile, let him be free from worry and anxiety, and he should have the same, he should recognize me. All the three things is completely asked. His father's freedom from anxiety, that he will go back alive and fully this thing, and then the father will recognize him. All that is simply asked in that first boon itself. Naturally, so Yama was very, very happy because he was within his means. Yama could grant because he is the Lord of Death. Supposing he wants to exempt somebody, किसी को छुटकारा देना चाहते हैं तो हम दे सकते हैं. So clearly he said, yes, then you can go back, you will be recognized, and he was completely satisfied. And this Sankara, he has clearly, he could give it because it is, it was within his means, and he clearly gave the first boon. And then then he asked for the second sloka. Dvitiya vara. Satvam agnim, this is the sloka 1:13. Satvam agnim swargam adhyeshi mrityu prabruhi tvam shraddadhanaya mahyam swargaloka amritatvam bhajanta etad dvitiyena vrine varena. O death, you know the fire sacrifice. There is a special sacrifice, just as his father did the Vishwajit Yajna. Similarly, there is a special fire sacrifice, so which is the way to heaven. So please explain it to me. I have faith, because he is a person, he has that Shraddha in the scriptures, he has Shraddha in elders, he has Shraddha in so many things. So I have this Shraddha. So, kyun? Swargaloko amritatvam bhajanta. Those who go to Swargaloka, they live there for eternity, and then they get Krama Mukti. Because there also, they are, even Yama himself is like that. Because of that Punya, etc., he got that, he is also holding that post of Yama. So he explained it to me. This knowledge of fire sacrifice what I ask you as my second boon. So he says, Swargaloko Amartatvam Bhajanta, those who go to Swarga, they attain that kind of immortality, in the sense they go on enjoying it for long number of years endlessly. So you give me this. This also he clearly gave, because he was not only it was within his powers, he also went on to give an extra boon. He says, hereafter, he explained to him in great detail how the bricks, etc., have to be arranged. There's a particular formation. So I said, no, these yajnas, etc., unless they are performed to perfection, there will always be some negative effect. Instead of going to Swarga, they may go to Naraka. So, they have to be very, he clearly told him how many bricks, how to be arranged, etc. And finally, he also said that, see, this will be called Nachiketa Agni. This Agni itself will be dedicated to your name, because you came at such a young age and you wanted this. So, not only do I give this, I give you an extra boon, namely, this will be called as Nachiketa Agni. That is the second boon which Nachiketa asked, and he was also, our Yama was also very happy to give him this second boon. Then he says that, see, if you see, there is a kind of a gradation in what Nachiketa was asking. First he asked whatever is necessary in this world, coming back, living with his father and all that, ihaloka jo. Then because they all believed in that life beyond that paralok, so that also he clearly asked after death. Now, what else can be? Whatever is to be got here, he has got. Whatever is to be got beyond death, he has got. So naturally, all his desires that way are satisfied in a graded way. Then he goes for the highest. So one might ask, why Nachiketa would have straight away asked for that? No, he wants to show that, like any normal being, Nachiketa also had some this thing, because he wanted to make sure his father was happy, he recognizes him, so he ensured that. And also, once that is done, he also wanted to understand, because you see, unless one knows about the highest knowledge of self, even asking about any other thing may not be very successful. If I don't know about myself, how can I think, even if I get somebody says, after so many years, you are going to get so much of money, so much of property. How would one know what is the value of that? Whether I am going to live, what is going to happen to me? Unless I know about me, nothing is possible. So that is why in a graded way, first he asked about whatever is possible here, then he talked about the other worlds. Now he is asking the third. Yeyam prete vichikitsa manushye asti teke nayam asti iti chaike. This is sloka number 1120. Etad vidyam anusishtastvayaham varanamesha varastitiyaha. You see, when death occurs, there is always the doubt whether there is anything, whether the life continues or it is the end of it. Some say it does, others say it does not. Even very learned and highly educated and very knowing people, they also have this constant doubt. Some say, asti teke, nayam asti iti chaike. Some say it is there, some say it is not there. So, at the end of the life, is all that. I beg to enlighten by you. Etad vidyam anushishtastvayam. I am obey you. I wish to be enlightened by you, so that I may know the answer. This is my third boon. So you have to tell me about this, otherwise I will not be satisfied. This is most important. What happens to life after death, whether it is possible, whether people live, what happens. So naturally, when Nachiketa asked this, it was like a bombshell for Yama. I thought that is a small boy, I will give him something and satisfy. So whatever he asked, I gave. Now he is asking for this Atma Jnana, the highest knowledge. See, if he answers this properly, whether there is anything beyond death or not, that is the ultimate answer. There is nothing to be known beyond that. So how this such a small boy? Then first he tries to tell him, even various kinds of, see, Devi Ratnapi Vichikichitan Kila Tvam cha mrityo yanna sugneyamasa Vakta cha satvagrahanyo nalabhyo Nanyo vastu tulya etasya kaschit. Bolche, various ways he was trying to dissuade him. First he said, even many learned people, elders, many others also could not understand. Will you be able to understand this? And then he says, I am giving you 100 years, hundreds of years, putra, pautra, grandchildren, children, everything, and Swarga, whatever you want, tell me how many kingdoms you want, and there will be damsels from heaven, all will come. He was simply, he was not to be tempted at all. He is absolutely strict. बोलते तवैव वाहा तव नृत्य गीत आप ही अपना लिख लीजिए मेरा जरूरत नहीं है. Then he says, you see, न वित्तेन तर्पणीयो मनुष्यो, this is again 1:127, न वित्तेन तर्पणीयो मनुष्यो लप्स्यामहे वित्तमद्राक्ष्म चेत्वा जीविष्यामो यावदी शिष्यसि त्वं परस्तु मे वर्णीय स एव. After all the series of temptation, whatever he offered him, then finally he says, so many, here also previously he says, ye kama durlabha martyaloke sarvan kama chandatah pratyasva. ऐसे चीज है कोई सोच भी नहीं पाएंगे, मैं साफ तुमको दे दूंगा. So many desirable things there, many will not even know. I will give you everything. But he says, no, I don't want all that. Because no one is satisfied with wealth. Happens, what do you see in all the corporate balls? Somebody is having 1 lakh crores, somebody is having 1,50,000 crores, they are fighting. For 50 generations they cannot exhaust the wealth. Still there is fight. So he says, no one is satisfied. Na vittena tarpaniyo manishyo. Nobody. And lapsyamahe vittam adraksha chetva. So, because, having seen you, we will no doubt get wealth. क्योंकि आपको तो मैं देखा, आप तो इतना ही तो दे दिया मेरे को. Meeting you means I am getting everything. And also, because you are the Lord, when you give me something, I will be there as long as you are there. So I am not worried about death also. Because I am right in front of you. आप मेरे को सब अनुग्रह कर दिया, वर दे दिया. You have given me all boons. So I know that as long as I am not going to die also. So what is the point of all this? You are saying that you will have this Rajya, you will have this, you will have that. These are all temporary only. Even the biggest of kingdoms, Vijayanagara, so many empires, what was there in the, so many great kingdoms, they all collapsed. Everything will go. So this money, it can never satisfy it. The more you have, it's more. It will tempt you to. So, that way, as long as you are there, and there is not a problem. So this is the only boon I want. I don't want anything else. So, so this is the temptation to have, and it can really lead to such problems. We are closing this, that I'll tell you a very nice little story, and with that you will go for tea break. Of course, it's only by the way, because now we are already in Akyayika, can have one more story, no problem. There was a barber, he was a king's barber. So naturally, Raja se to unko milta hi tha. Then, Raja was happy, he gave him money, he was living all right, his lifestyle was improving. Then suddenly, he had a dream one day. In such and such place, there is a big pot of gold. So full of gold coins. If you go and dig there, you will get it. So he went there and took without a deep at night, nobody knows, did not even tell his wife. Silently went and dug and dug and dug. Then finally the instrument, tang, ek awaaz aaya. Then he has struck gold. Then it's a huge pot full of gold coins. उन्होंने उठा के देखा, लेकिन ऊपर में 3 इंच से बाकी सब भरा था. That was enough for 10 generations. See, that's why he say, na vitte na tarpaniyo manishyo. नहीं, यही 3 इंच से मेरा भरना है, तब तो पूरा होगा. Whatever was there, he could use and build palaces and be happy. Then he went and told with a sad face to Raja, अरे क्या हुआ? नहीं, आप जो दे रहे हैं ना, नहीं होता है मेरा, संसार नहीं चल रहा. My family am not able to run with the money that you give, increase. Then बोला 2 गुना कर दिया. Then he went quickly, went and purchased gold coins. डाला, फिर भी नहीं भर रहा है. Then after some days, again with a sad face to the king, again he gave 4 बार, 5 बार. How many times he goes and buys gold coin, again he finds at the end of it, always some 2 inch or 3 inch, it is not getting filled. So बहुत दुबला पतला, खाना पाना सब बंद कर दिया था. Stopped eating everything. He is only buying gold coins with all the money. Regular salary, increment, DA, bonus, all only gold coins. Then finally Raja, oh, तुमको भी वही बीमार पकड़ा ना? कौन बीमार राजा? You also got the disease. What is that, Raja? You got a swapna? Huh? You got a dream? Gold coin? Go and throw it. वो अगले दिन जाके समुद्र में फेंका. Then he started living happy. इसे बोला ना वित्ते न तर्पणियो मनुष्यो. Actually this is a story, but most of it is happening like that. Endless pursuit. जितना भी है, फिर जितना ही है रखो, मरने वाला है. अरे इतना जल रहा है, क्या होता है? प्रदीप उसका कम करो. Reduce the wick. So that's why he says, you see, I mean, this is another learnings, this Akhyayika, the stories, telling life is so impermanent, yet why you are asking for this endlessly. So he says, no, I am very, very clear, I don't want anything else. Abhi de to, nahi do. I go back. Naturally, he has given word. No, am I thinking? What he did, we will see slowly after break.